My family here, my son and some of his friends, it was a tough choice to make, but the security that we've seen has been better than at any of the other rallies. We feel really safe about what's going on. I think the city's done a good job. Secret Service has done a good job.
Crowds of supporters camping out overnight in anticipation of President Trump's rally in Tulsa. Preparations are underway to ensure safety ahead of tonight's rally.
It's the president's first rally since coronavirus shutdowns. All attendees will be given a mask, hand sanitizer, and a temperature check.
And they can choose whether to go in or not because they're adults. It comes as Oklahoma's Supreme Court rules the rally can go on as planned. Well, thank you very much for the blessing after tossing a lawsuit over attendees following CDC guidelines. Well, someone that's going to be there tonight is Senator Tom Cotton, Republican from Arkansas, Senate Select Intelligence Committee and Senate Armed Services Committee. He's on both, and he's also an Army veteran. Tom, Senator, thank you so much for being on the program this morning. You're outside the arena right now. You'll be in there tonight. You can see the crowds, the lines, the anticipation. What do you expect from the president tonight?
Well, I expect the president to explain why we need 4 more years of Donald Trump in the White House and why we can't afford Joe Biden in the White House. Look, our country and our economy has been hit by a terrible pandemic unleashed on the world by China. Many people are still out of work. They're still struggling to get back on their feet. But we are starting to see a great American come back. We had the best jobs report ever just earlier this month. We're going to see the economy continue to grow. We want Donald Trump to do what he has already done, which is turn this economy once again into one of the best in our history. We cannot afford to have Joe Biden in the White House repeating the 8 years of slow, sluggish economic growth of the Obama-Biden era.
You know, Senator, speaking of Joe Biden, one of the contenders to be Biden's VP is Susan Rice, and she made some interesting comments, quite controversial comments this week. Let's take a listen. I want to get your reaction.
This election, and whoever Joe Biden chooses among many very talented candidates, is about getting Joe Biden in the White House, somebody who can heal and unify the nation and remove Donald Trump and consign him and those who've supported him in the Senate to the trash heap of history.
What do you think, the trash heap of history?
If anyone belongs on the ash heap of history, it's Susan Rice. Remember, Susan Rice was the typhoid Mary of the Obama administration. She was in the middle of every debacle in the Obama era, from the reckless war in Libya to the attacks on our consulate in Benghazi, to coddling the Chinese Communist Party, to the Russia collusion hoax. And her comments are just reflective of what Democrats consistently do, which is disparage and insult hardworking conservatives and Republicans all around this country. From Hillary Clinton calling Donald Trump supporters a basket of deplorables, or Joe Biden saying that 30 or 45 million Americans are just not very good people, and now Susan Rice saying this. I think it reflects a pattern of Democrats looking down on Americans who simply don't share their far left-wing radical views.
Senator, let me ask you, talking about Democrats and liberal views, the DACA ruling this week. Very important our viewers understand it wasn't about the merits of the policy of DACA, but rather on the DHS's failure to adhere to some administrative procedures. You actually believe that Chief Justice John Roberts really ought to resign and run for office if he wants to get political. This comes after he sided with the liberals on the court in Obamacare, in the census ruling, and in the recent LGBTQ ruling also this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chief Justice Roberts consistently seems more concerned about the reputation of the court and his reputation among Democrats and the media than the rule of law. He did things like this in the first Obamacare case, the second Obamacare case, the case last year about asking a citizenship question on our census, and now in this immigration case in which the court ruled that President Trump cannot simply undo what President Obama did. That cannot be the law. And if the Chief Justice thinks he has such excellent political judgment, I would recommend that he resign and travel to Iowa for the caucuses and see if he can earn the votes of his fellow Americans. If he wants to be the Chief Justice, though, he should follow the law and he should uphold the Constitution and our laws as they are written, not apply two different standards, one for President Obama and one for President Trump.
Senator, briefly, why does this keep happening? You know, John Roberts was supposed to be a conservative, appointed by Bush. Why do these slides happen?
It's very disappointing. This has gone back, as I said, to the beginning of the Roberts Court. He has repeatedly put what he perceives to be the reputation of the court and perhaps his own reputation with the media and with Democrats and with elite lawyers and law professors ahead of what the law obviously requires. It's repeatedly pointed out by other justices on the Supreme Court, like Justice Scalia, Justice Thomas, Justice Alito. It needs to stop. The way to protect the integrity of the court is to uphold the Constitution and our laws as written, not as the media and the Democrats wish they were written.
Senator Tom Cotton, thank you so much for your time. Please go out and write another New York Times op-ed for us, will you? Caused a little bit of trouble last time with that one. Good stuff. Senator, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Senator.